The man who inherited a voice. On the father complex. A man inherited his father's farm. He inherited the cows, the wheat field, the well, and the small stone house. He inherited the bad eastern boundary and the good western soil. He inherited the debt at the merchant's, which he paid off within a year. He inherited his father's clothes, which his wife had altered to fit him, and which fit awkwardly because his father had been a larger man. He inherited, in some unspoken way, the silences of the village toward his father, the small grudges no one would name, the old kindnesses no one would mention. He was a good man, and he ran the farm well. He did not know in the first year that he had also inherited his father's voice. He discovered this when he spoke to his own son. His son had been 5 when the grandfather died. The boy had loved the grandfather. He had also, in a way the boy himself could not have explained, been afraid of him. The grandfather had spoken to small children the way he had spoken to his own children, with an edge, with a kind of teeth in the consonants, with a way of letting a sentence end as if a door had been firmly shut. His son flinched. "What did you say?" asked the man. "You said nothing," said the son, "but you said it the way grandfather used to say it. You said it with his teeth in it." The man stopped. He had not used his father's words. He was sure of this. He had used quite different words. He had said, in fact, a simple thing, "Come and help me carry the bucket," and the words themselves had been kind. But he had used his father's. Silences between the words. He had used his father's particular sharpness on certain consonants. He had used his father's habit of letting a sentence end as if a door had been closed. The son was very still. "I am sorry," said the man. "I will not speak that way again." He spoke that way again the next morning. He spoke that way at lunch. By evening, when he had said go to bed and the boy had flinched at the bed, the man understood that this was not a matter of choosing. The voice was not something he had decided to use. The voice was using him. It had been waiting in his throat all his life for the moment when the father was gone and the throat was free to carry it. He stopped speaking to his son for a week. The wife noticed. "You are not speaking to the boy," she said one evening by the fire. "I have been speaking to him as my father did," said the man. "I have been frightening him. I do not know how to speak to him without frightening him. I am not using the words. The voice is using me. I do not know what to do." The wife sat with this. "Go to the old healer," she said. "She knows the voices." He went to the old healer at the edge of the village. She was the village's last practitioner of an art the village did not, in its more modern years, formally acknowledge. She listened to old men's hearts. She heard, in pots and in fires, what the village had forgotten. She read, in the bones of slaughtered chickens, things she would not ordinarily say aloud. He told her what was happening. The healer looked at him a long time. She was very old. She had known his father. She had been the one called when his father had died 2 years before. She remembered the father's voice. She remembered also the grandfather's voice, which had been in turn the same voice in a different throat, and the great-grandfather's voice before that, and the voice of the founder of the farm, 6 generations back, who had cleared the land alone in a winter no one in the village now remembered. "Your throat has been a passage," she said. "A passage for what? For the men of your line. Your father did not, in fact, have his own voice. He used his father's. His father used his grandfather's. The voice has been traveling through the throats of your family for 6 generations. You have lent your throat to it as your father did. It does not know you are not your father. It is, in some sense, the voice of the founder, still trying to clear the winter land, still trying to keep the boys obedient so they will not die in the cold. It is not malicious. It is only continuing. It does not know the cold winters are over. It does not know your son is not in danger of dying in a winter. How do I stop it? You will have to learn to cough it out, 1 syllable at a time. How long will that take? A year, possibly longer. Your son will help you. He is the one who can hear. He will flinch when the voice arrives. You will flinch when he flinches. You will pause. You will, in the pause, find the place where your own voice begins. Your own voice is younger. It is thinner. It is, at first, almost inaudible. You will speak in it when you find it. Your son will not flinch. You will know by his not flinching that you have spoken in your own voice. You will continue. Each year your own voice will grow stronger. Other voice will not leave. It will only learn slowly to wait its turn. It will become a thing you can use when you need it, for warning the cows, for shouting at a man in the market, but it will not after some years be the first voice to arrive when you speak to your child. The man went home. He began that evening. He spoke to his son. He felt the voice begin. He paused. The pause was long. The son looked at him with confusion. He found, beneath the confusion, the thin younger voice. He used it. He said the same simple thing, "Come and help me carry the bucket," in a voice that he had not used since he had been 5 years old. The son did not flinch. Son, in fact, smiled. The son had not in his memory been spoken to in that voice. He had not known it was available. The man wept that night alone in the kitchen. He continued. It took, as the healer had said, a little more than a year. The voice did not leave entirely. He could hear it sometimes in the back of his throat, particularly when he was tired, particularly when his son had been disobedient, particularly when his wife had said something he had not wanted to hear. It came up. He coughed it out. He used his own voice instead. The work was slow, but it worked. By the end of the second year, his son had stopped flinching at all. The son grew up. He inherited the farm in his own time. He did not, when he had his own son, inherit the voice. The voice had been by then coughed out of the family. It had returned, presumably, to the founder, who lived now only in the cleared land itself, the winters long over. The dead use the living throats they were given. The voice is older than your father. It has been traveling throat to throat for 6 generations. It does not know the winters are over. The work is not to silence it. It is to cough it out, syllable by syllable, in front of the child who can hear, until your own voice is the one that arrives. It takes a year. The child does not flinch when you have done it. The voice, in time, returns to the founder. The cleared land remembers.